What's going on, Pokemon trainers? Today I'm going to show you guys how to take down Team Go Rocket's Cliff. First, we're going to look at this article by Pokemon Go Hub, and I'm going to tell you about how Lucario, Regice, and Swampert are the best counters that they recommend. However, when I saw that they recommend Regice, I just couldn't justify maxing out a Regice. Not only that, but I don't have 100 Regice candies to get this second charge move, and I don't want to put any rare candies into Regice, so I'm going to show you guys what I did instead. But first, make sure that you have Lucario and Swampert in your party. They're going to be critical, and you can lean on another ice type to cover Regice. First, you need to know what Cliff could be using. His first Pokemon is always going to be Meowth, which is a normal type, which is why Lucario is going to come in handy to punch through it. The second Pokemon that Cliff could use could be either Snorlax, Sandslash, or Flygon. And his third Pokemon could be Tyranitar, Infernape, or Torterra. So you should know that you're using your Lucario to cover the Meowth, Snorlax, and Tyranitar. For Regice, or another ice type, you're going to be covering the Flygon, Sandslash, and Torterra. And Swampert is going to cover Sandslash, Infernape, and Tyranitar. So what do you do if you don't have Lucario, Regice, or Swampert? Keep watching the video because I'm going to show you guys other counters that you can use in their place. But right now, let's jump into the battle against Cliff and see how my counters do. So let's jump into the battle. Here's Cliff at a Pokestop that I found with the Team Go Rocket radar. You can buy these in the in-game shop for 200 Pokecoins if you want to just simply find Cliff, Arlo, or Sierra very quickly. So I want to show you guys which party I'm going to be using. If you swipe over to the left to your parties, you can see that my party is set up to be Lucario, Swampert, and Mamoswine. I'm replacing Regice with Mamoswine because I can't stand powering up a Regice. Here's my Lucario that we're going to be using. Here are the stats that he has. Pretty good, close to 100%. He knows Counter, Shadow Ball, and Power Up Punch. Here's my Community Day Mamoswine at CP 3287. He's 100% maxed out, and he knows Powder Snow, Ancient Power, and Avalanche. And finally, here is my Community Day Hydro Cannon Swampert at CP 2904. Pretty good stats, and he knows Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon, and Earthquake. So let's get into the battle. Here we go. As the battle's beginning, you always want to start out with Lucario because remember, he's always going to start with the Shadow Meowth. And because Meowth is a normal type, you want to punch through it with your fighting type moves. Power Up Punch is going to power up pretty quickly. However, it doesn't really matter how good you do during your first two charge attacks because he's always going to shield the first two charge attacks in the battle. So basically, you want to try to get to your second charge attack as soon as possible. It's okay that we fainted Meowth because we want to get on to Snorlax. Snorlax is going to be a really heavy hitter, so it's important that we get his shields down as soon as possible. This one is going to be shielded, obviously, so now we have both of his shields down. We're going to weigh on heavily Lucario to take down this Snorlax because if he doesn't, it's going to be very difficult for me to take out this Snorlax if I don't have Lucario to help me. Yikes. So you can see I barely did like any damage there. We're going to have Lucario faint, unfortunately. We're going to try out Mamoswine because hopefully he can power up his Ancient Power move very quickly. That's what I'm hoping for. We're not getting any super effective damage against Snorlax here, but we're just trying to get as many charge attacks as possible. We could even temporarily switch out Swampert to trigger a slight delay. If you see 1 to 3 seconds of delay when you switch out a Pokemon, the Team Go Rocket leaders have a 3-second delay, which is just enough that we could actually cheat the system slightly and hopefully, okay, we're gonna have to use a shield, but whenever you're getting low on health, just try to switch out your Pokemon, or even when you're not getting low on health, but even when you see a window of opportunity to switch, that is your opportunity to get, hopefully, a delay, oh my gosh, in delay in his Pokemon. Here comes the next Pokemon. We've got Tyranitar. Luckily, we have Hydro Cannon already ready to go. Let's hopefully use our next charge attack. Next, super effective. We should have another one powered up. Here we go. Let's use our Earthquake. Come on. And hopefully we can get the excellent on this. Boom. Super effective. And I think that we saw that Earthquake actually did slightly more damage than Hydro Cannon there. So if I could have had a choice, I would have used Earthquake twice, actually. Okay. And finally, let's use Ancient Power. If this will hopefully work. I'm glad that we have this because this is taking the place of our Regice. Oh, this is going to be a very close battle. And there it is. So I feel like Snorlax is going to be the heaviest component that Cliff has. Snorlax is going to be the hardest to beat. So if you guys can beat Snorlax, basically you have it in the bag. Also, if you need more Premier Balls, just know that you should be purifying your Pokemon and defeating Team Go Rocket grunts. That will help you get more Premier Balls. Let's see if it's shiny. It's not shiny. Oh well, let's get into more counters. Really quickly, everyone, I wanted to show you another battle that I did against Cliff. However, this one was a little bit more difficult. You know that he's going to start out with Meowth, and then second he had a Snorlax, and third he had Torterra. So I want to show you guys this battle at 2 times speed, just to show you a different combination of Pokemon that you could use. As always, he's going to start out with Meowth, and you still need to get those 2 shields off no matter what. So Lucario's going to punch through Meowth, and we're only going to get 1 shield off. And we're going to get the second shield off as soon as Snorlax enters the battlefield. And it's going to prove difficult, but Snorlax will eventually make our Lucario faint in the same way that it did before in the previous Cliff battle, which is okay, but now I decided to go with a Machamp, and Machamp will end up helping us finish off Snorlax. And here's the interesting thing is I noticed that I needed to use Rock Slide rather than Dynamic Punch while I was using my Machamp because it charged up fast enough that when I used Rock Slide, I was able to get Snorlax to faint. If I used Dynamic Punch, it would turn out to be worse because I would wait too long. So then finally the last Pokemon was Torterra. Because I used Rock Slide before, I was able to get some more fast moves to charge up another charge move on Machamp so I could use Dynamic Punch on Torterra before he would faint. So finally I could send in my Dialga with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor. And finally that was enough to take out Torterra. So this was a really tough combination of 3 Pokemon, surprisingly, with Snorlax and Torterra at the end. So I just wanted to show you guys that, you know, just because you don't have Regice, Lucario, and Swampert doesn't necessarily mean that you need those 3 for Cliff. You should try different combinations and see which ones work the best. And also, you might need to just encounter Cliff's 3 Pokemon first just to see what his lineup is so that you're better prepared. Okay, let's get back to the video. So let's talk about alternate counters. First up, we're going to be talking about how to counter Meowth. You could use Lucario, Blaziken, Poliwrath, or Machamp. So they're all fighting types. Lucario should know Counter and Power Up Punch, Blaziken should know Counter and Blaze Kick, and Poliwrath should know Mud Shot, Power Up Punch, and Machamp should know Counter and Cross Chop. What about Sand Slash? How do you counter Sand Slash? You could use Swampert, Mewtwo, Regice, or Vaporeon. Swampert should know Mud Shot and Hydro Cannon, Mewtwo should know Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Regice should know Lock On and Blizzard, and Vaporeon should know Waterfall and Aqua Tail. How about Snorlax? You can best counter Snorlax with Lucario, Dialga, Mewtwo, or Melmetal. Lucario should know Counter and Power Up Punch, Dialga should know Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor, Mewtwo should know Psycho Cut and Psy Strike or Focus Blast, and Melmetal should know Thunder Shock and Rock Slide. How about Flygon? You can counter Flygon with Regice, Mewtwo, Mamoswine, and Dialga. Regice should know Lock On and Blizzard, Mewtwo should know Psycho Cut and Ice Beam, Mamoswine should know Powder Snow and Avalanche, and Dialga should know Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor. If you're facing off against Tyranitar, you could use Lucario, Poliwrath, Machamp, or Blaziken. Lucario should know Counter or Power Up Punch, Poliwrath should know Mud Shot and Power Up Punch, Machamp should know Counter and Cross Chop, and Blaziken should know Counter and Blaze Kick. And finally, Swampert should know Mud Shot and Hydro Cannon. And what if you're facing against Torterra? You should use Regice, Dialga, Mamoswine, or Hydreigon. Regice should know Lock On, Blizzard. Dialga should know Dragon Breath, Draco Meteor. Mamoswine should know Powder Snow and Avalanche, and Hydreigon should know Dragon Breath and Dark Pulse. And finally, if you're going up against Infernape, you should have a Lugia, Swampert, Giratina Origin Form, or a Mewtwo. Lugia should know Extra Sensory and Sky Attack, Swampert should know Mud Shot and Hydro Cannon, and Giratina Origin Form should know Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, and Mewtwo should know Psycho Cut and Psy Strike. So there is all of the alternative counters that you guys should be able to use. Hopefully you have some of these Pokemon, and if not, hopefully you'll be able to trade with a friend to maybe even get lucky so that way you can max it out for a cheaper Stardust cost. I hope that this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you're new, and if you need help battling Sierra or Arlo, check the links in the descriptions box because I already have videos for those two as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.